Friends, I'm going to make a little short video here about how the Cult Tower Society has their rank and file members in captivity. For example, it was printed out in one of their books back in 1936 that only through their organization could you flee to safety from Armageddon or anything else that the world might bring on. Only fleeing to them is your only hope, whether it would be in Brooklyn or now Warwick, as we call it. You only be safe if you're there or going along with their program. And there are those in that Cult Tower Society that says, I'd rather be in the organization wrong than to be in another organization that's right. Now, let me repeat that. They'd rather be in the organization of the Watchtower wrong than to be in another organization that's right. Well, you know, that shows you're on the deep end when you went that far. And let me read this here. And it said, if the society told me that this book that I'm holding in my hands is black instead of green, I would say, you know, I could have sworn it was green, but if society says it's black, then it's black. Can you imagine that? Now he's holding the book, he sees what color it is, but the organization says, no, it's black. Well, it's black then. Well, that shows you are on the deep end then, so you're gone, you're gone. Now, those two things I brought out shows that you have sunk to the deep end. And there's only one other thing that could happen to you that would be dreadful and disgraceful, but it would be the Jim Jones commandment to drink Kool-Aid. And you all know what he had in his Kool-Aid. And they were not forced by gunpoint, some were, but the majority of them drank it willingly, because this guy had them so screwed up in their head that you have to do what he says. Could that ever happen in the Cult Tower Society? Well, no one ever thought it would happen in the Jim Jones Society, did they? No one ever thought anything like that would happen. Now, we know what happened there. 900, almost 1,000 people died from drinking Kool-Aid. And we know that a couple guys with guns forced people to drink, but he could not force over 1,000 people to drink Kool-Aid. It was a randomly people that were shot that didn't drink the Kool-Aid. But majority of them drank it willingly because of the commandment by their so-called spiritual leader, Jim Jones. Can you imagine to let someone screw your mind up so bad that you'd be willing to drink Kool-Aid laced with arsenic or laced with whatever he had in it and kill yourself? What does that prove? It proves they were willing to go that far with their spiritual leader. Are there a large amount of people that are willingly to drink this same ingredient in the Cult Tower Society? Well, no one knows the actual figure, but we all know A lot of them would. A lot of them would. Who knows how many, but we do know that as far as they have went on few of these things I've suggested, a lot of them would drink that Kool-Aid. A lot of them would. And it's a shame that religion has such a bad name scarred upon it by these kind of people, these kind of organizations. It is disgraceful, friends. I mean, can you imagine that if you get a splinter in your hand, oh my God, you want to rush to the emergency ward or anything to get rid of that pain? Well, if you're that much concerned about a little splinter, how could you drink Kool-Aid with arsenic in it? Well, people have done it. Friends, I said that I was going to sing a song to change my direction on the cult tower. I realize that sometimes we get a little bored at the same old drum beating about the cult tower. But I decided that I was going to sing one song in each one of my videos to change it a little bit. And being as I'm a country western fan of the older stuff, not the new stuff, and I know some of y'all up there are in the age near me that you like that kind of music. Well, let me see if I can get this song on called He Stopped Loving Her Today by the late George Jones. If I can find it now. Hold on, friends. Here we go. He said, I'll love you till I die. She told him, you'll forget me in time. As the years went slowly by, she still preyed upon his mind. He kept her picture on his wall. He went half crazy now and then, but he still loved her through it all, hoping she'd come back again. He kept some letters by his bed, dated 1962. He had underlined in red every single I love you. I went to see my friend just today. Oh, but I didn't see no tears. He was all dressed up to go away. First time I'd seen him smile in years. He stopped loving her today. They placed a wreath upon his door, and soon they'll carry him away. He stopped loving her today. You know, friends, she came to see him one last time. Oh, we all wondered But you know, it kept running through my mind that this time he's over her. This time it's for good. He stopped loving her today. They placed a wreath upon his door, and soon they'll carry him away. He stopped loving her today. Thank you so much, friends. I hope you all enjoyed that. You know, music is good for the soul. And sometimes I use music to get through the day. You know, every song has a story to tell. There's good stories, sad stories, and every kind of story that ever been written by mankind is in a song. And sometimes, friends, we have to retreat to those songs to get a hold of what's real, or pretending what's in that song. Every song means something to somebody. Every song that's ever been written means something to somebody. Now, friends, getting back to the cult tower, there is so many negative things going on with that organization now that it's pathetic. And me, I'm waiting to see some of these cases that are hanging up in the courts throughout the world about that child molestation. We know that there are several in the courts. There's probably a lot more than that, say. But we know there's some big ones in there. And soon, they'll be hitting the news. When one hits, then one starts and another one comes on. You'll see it in the national news. It won't only be on here on YouTube. It'll be national news. When they start paying out millions and millions and millions of dollars. And you talk about more going out that's coming in, money-wise, boy, you ain't seen nothing. I believe this is the reason they moved to Warwick. Because it gives them now an excuse to close up these kingdom halls, sell them, and get the money to pay these here cases off. Because they got that compound built with free labor. So, you know, that's something. They had a city actually built with free labor. And all the parts they had to use, and all the materials, a lot of it was donated to charitable organizations, which is a joke when it comes down to the cult tower. But they're pretty smart on maneuvering and getting around on the system. Yeah, they built that compound on free labor. But who knows what lies down the road, friends? Could it be that those thousands of workers that went up there out of being brain dead to do this work for them free, how many might now come down with some kind of chemical that they picked up in their system while they were there? We know it was contaminated. The ground was, we know that. Now, that doesn't mean that anybody was contaminated with it, but I'm sure any of y'all out there would not hardly even walk on ground that was laced with nickel and all these other chemicals that will kill you, or kill you slowly. I'm sure a lot of y'all wouldn't mess with nothing like that. But I'm sure that the cult tower didn't tell these workers of all the dangerous possibilities that could happen. The cult tower ain't going to tell you nothing if it hurts them. They don't care if the people there are working for nothing and love them and doing it free. They don't care about that. They care about protecting their empire. That's all they care about. All in the name of keeping the congregation clean. That's just a put on. That's all that is to keep your name out of the news. That's what it's real all about. You're not worried about no clean organization or bringing reproach on Jehovah's name. You're worried about the reproach it'll bring on your bank account. That's what you're worried about. You could care the least about the rank and file. You proved that by what you've done to all those workers up there in Bethel who got kicked out on the streets and had to hitchhike home. A lot of them did. Yes, they did. They had to hitchhike home. You didn't give them nothing. Nothing. Just gave them a notice. They had to be out by today or 2-3 days later. That's it. You know, that is cruel. That's cruel. You know, they talk about how cruel the world is. You know, a lot of companies in the world don't do that. They give you, even the military gives you muster and out pay. When you finish your tour, muster and out pay. And most of all the big corporations in the country gives you a payout or something that you accumulated with time, or a payment to help you get reorganized and get another job. Something. There's something there. And the cult tower always ran the world down about how they did people. Yeah? Well, it seems like to me that some of those companies in the world are better off than y'all are. See? Yes, they are. You people got a bad name when it comes to getting rid of people. Yeah, you keep certain ones. Oh yeah, you'll do that. You need someone to keep this ship floating. But you know, there's trouble on the port side. Now, there's starboard and port on the ship. One or the other starts leaning another way, then you have a problem. You got to put enough water in the rooms to balance it out. But they have trouble. The ship they're floating on is now tilted a little bit, and they're going to have to straighten this ship out. See? If not, it'll keep leaning. You know, a ship only can lean so far, then it just flips right on over. Down it goes. Well, that could be what's going to happen to the cult tower. Well, friends, I enjoyed this little talk. I thank y'all for listening to it. I don't even know what to name it, but I'll name it something. So, friends, thank you so much. I love all y'all out there who prayed for me and my wife and problems we had. But I think it's starting to simmer down a little bit now. And I'm trying to get on with my life. So thank all y'all for your prayers and your kindness and your true love. Not the conditional love that the JWs put out. We know what kind of love they have. It's conditional. Not pure like y'all's is. Thank you, friends, and God bless.